My story is an interesting one. I was born to Central American parents who came to this country at a very young age. And at that young age, they were brought to know the gospel of Jesus Christ. And they decided to journey their life in the military. My father joined the military at a young age. And they traveled and they went out overseas. And I was actually one of 3 children that were born in the military. I was born overseas. I was born in the United Kingdom. My childhood was fun. It was exciting, different places, and just seeing the world at a young age was just so amazing to me. It was later on in life when my dad decided to retire that he came back to the United States and to the Bay Area, where he was reunited with his family and my mother's family. And we grew up here, and there were many more opportunities for college and for just to better ourselves in life. One of my father's dreams was to take his children back to Central America. And he said these words. He said that one thing he wanted to do before he passed away was to take his children to Central America, to show them their roots. So we boarded a plane as a family of 5. But boarding back the plane, coming back to our home, we were a family of 4. Tragically, during that trip, my father lost his life. My father was taken from this world. And that time in my life was where my faith hit a brick wall. The God that I came to believe in, the God that I grew up hearing about in the stories that I heard about, now all of that was put to a test at the age of 17. The age where people look to be an adult and have fun and, just to grow up. I was faced with a reality in my everyday life, a reality of not having my father. And as a young woman, I searched and I wanted to know what was there in life for me now. Everything was turned upside down. But that faith, the words of my father came through. God is God in the good times, just like he's God in the bad times. God is good when you have the happiest of moments, just like when you are in the most terrible of moments. God is there. And I held on to that truth because I saw how he lived his life, believing in that truth, believing in one God, in God. And that was what kept me. That was the string that held me so close to God's heart. It was the little string that at any point I just felt I could let go and I would just fall apart, but I held on to it. And through that time, through one of the deepest struggles in my life, one of the lowest and saddest times of my life, I came to discover just how great a gift God had for me. The greatest gift that God gave me was that he was my father, that he gave me life, and that because of him, he gave me a purpose in life. So during that time, my years in high school, I completed, and my college life, I started. And as a student in college, you're surrounded by so many different beliefs and so many different people, and you struggle to find your place in life and in college and try to plan a future for yourself. And I did. I planned a future. I set my goals and I wanted to work towards them. But it was in that time of my life trying to figure out who I was that God led me to a small Bible college in Oakland, and not even thinking what God had in store for me, what God would change in my life. And so through a lot of prayer and just speaking to people and friends and professors, I came to realize that my passion and my heart just longed for more of God. And that's when I discovered that I was different, that God had something different for me. I discovered that if I was to let go of everything I planned and just reach out to what God had for me, God began to show me how he was setting me apart. God began to teach me things about ministry that I never considered in my life. I thought I would be a regular churchgoer, someone who supported the church in any way possible, but never in ministry. And that was the time in my college years where God placed professors, God placed friends, God placed my mentor in my life, who began to open my eyes. And through those individuals, they showed me, and God began to show me, there's something greater for you. But it's not what you think, it's not what you expect, and you just have to trust me. And God kept telling me that, trust me, because I know the next step. And every time I tried to figure out where, God never told me. He never showed me. He never gave me even a sneak peek. God just told me to go and trust him. And I discovered that God had another door open for me to continue my education. 4 more years of struggling through a desert, trying to figure out what God was doing, trying to figure out what was next, trying to figure out God's plan. And I never did. But through that valley, once again, I discovered just how great God was. Through that valley, I discovered that there was so many things that God had in store for me. And all He wanted me to do was depend solely on Him. He was my God, and I was following after Him. I wanted Him more than anything else, more than riches, more than fame, more than anything I could imagine. At one point I wanted, it made no sense no more. I just wanted to follow after God. So I did. I graduated, came back, and I just began to serve wherever God placed me. God opened doors of preaching, of teaching, counseling. Here I was, a young woman at the age of 25, 26, just serving God and being asked to speak and being asked to go to different places. And I discovered that doors were just opening, and I told God, no matter what door would open, I would walk through it as long as I knew it was Him. To this day, I believe in God's purposes for my life. And through those early years in my college years, that was the foundation. And even as a child, that was my foundation that today I'm standing on. That God is a great and powerful God. My name is Tatiana Guadamuz, and I am not of this world.